and you have entered the kissing booth.
Come on
All right,
in.
come on in.
You have received the official invitation to come on into the kissing booth.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
excited
I know
today.
I am too.
You
All
know,
right.
we have Dr. Lindiwe here, and I can't wait to get it
Exactly. To
started.
get
So
it
come
started.
on in. I know we are just a couple minutes late, but guess what? As usual, we are here. We are ready to have a good time. We are ready to
Mm-hmm.
kiss you guys with so many different resources.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm here for the help tonight.
Right, right, right. So make sure to put those kisses in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from as well. We know we got people all over the country watching. So also let us know
Oh,
where you're watching from. Put the kisses in the chat. But if you
exactly.
missed last episode with our
Mhm.
trainee Turbo James,
Turbo.
we want you to go back and check that out. He had told us about his story and all the things that he's gone through and what led him here to Power 52. So definitely go and check that out on our YouTube channel at Power 52 Official, or even on our Facebook channel.
And I think
Or
it's even on LinkedIn.
yeah, even on LinkedIn, just go to our
Yeah.
posts and check all those out.
At Power
Hmm
52 Official. And remember that April is Second Chance Month. And so we're gonna, have some discussions
hmm
about, resources, mental health resources
hmm
with Dr. Lindaway. So, we're gonna start this thing off with some
Right.
hot topics.
Right,
Cause
but first,
hey,
Dr. Linda, way you're here, so feel free to hop in on those
All
hot
right, I'm
topics.
ready.
So here we go. Starting off hot, we have Ashanti is pregnant.
oh yes,
All
well
right.
it's about time.
Right, right. That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Right. So after months of speculation, the R&B singer finally revealed that she is expecting an Instagram reel yesterday captioned "Baby, baby, baby, baby."
Yes, I'm here
Mhm.
for it. Like, I'm so grateful that Nelly circled the block, ordered her up, and now they can make it
Mhm.
right. I think they're even engaged.
Yep, yep. So they did announce
Yeah.
that as well yesterday that they are engaged too. So that's
Yeah.
good. That's it. Some people are saying they don't appreciate, people going back and forth after. But I was like, the first time they were together, they got together in 2003, and they
Hmm.
were together
Wow.
for 10 years. So they broke up
Yeah.
in 2013, and I guess they did a 10-year hiatus.
And it's
Um,
all good.
yeah, so now they back like they never left, and I think the
It's
culture, the
so good.
culture kind of wanted that. So
I
Mhm.
think so too. I
congratulations to
always
them.
thought they were the cutest
I did
couple.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
hmm
for this to finally happen for her, she has dedicated her life to her career,
Yes.
which a
hmm
lot of women do. And now she's going to be able to just put that, tie it up, put a bow on it, and,
hmm
keep it moving.
Right,
Yes.
right,
So
Wonderful.
that's
right. So
good.
we
Black
Reunited, and
love.
it feels so good.
Yes,
right,
exactly. Yes.
right. Okay. Okay. So the Kennedy family endorses President Biden.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Mm.
Okay.
So
Say
this is
more.
hot. This is hot off the press because this happened today.
Okay.
So today, over a dozen members of the Kennedy family formally endorsed President Joe Biden, and rejecting their relative Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And he's running for president as an independent.
Right. Now, what's that all about?
Right. So RFK Jr.'s sister, Carrie Kennedy, led the charge to rally her family together to back the current president, stating that her father and uncles would have supported everything that President Biden stands for and supports. So,
Hmm. I don't know what, like, that's family drama. Keep
Mhm.
me out of it.
right. So, I
Mhm.
I don't
What
know
do you
how I would
think?
feel. My whole
Mhm.
family,
Yeah.
my own sister
Yeah.
rally
Right,
against me. It would
right.
be some sad singing and flower bringing.
Yeah.
It would be some fighting after that. But he did make a statement.
Uh-oh, what do
He
you
made a
say?
statement before. I guess he caught wind that it was going to happen, so he kind of got ahead of the
Okay.
story.
Okay.
And he said on social media, "I hear some of my family will be endorsing President Biden today. I am pleased that they are politically active. It's a family tradition. We are divided in our opinions, but united in our love for each other. I hold this as a possibility for America too. We can disagree without hating our opponents. We can restore civility and respect to public discourse. I think we can. So that's what he
Well,
said.
it sounds like an episode of Yellowstone, if I must say. Listen, we'll sit here in the corner and eat our popcorn. What can you say?
Right, but I don't know. I think that might be they thinking that they're doing something to deter Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but I don't know. It might. I think it might be some kerosene to the fire because it says he's him being an independent. He's still a pretty strong candidate. So I'm like, you never know. They might, people is all down for the haters, like they think if they being petty, like, oh, we gonna go for the underdog just to prove a point.
I'm going for the underdog.
Right.
Just either way. I mean, it's really big name recognition. So there's some people who are just gonna hear that name and say, "Oh, we're going with that."
No,
and then
that's true.
there's other people gonna be like, "Your whole family came out,
right?"
I don't know.
And that's what the family members are saying. They basically he's trying to use our name as his clout, and they're trying to say it's a tarnish to their legacy, the family legacy. But I'm like,
and so you know what?
No.
Like we always tell everyone, do your research.
Right.
Period.
Period.
Because that's what they want. They want name brand. They want elephants and donkeys and all. They just want you to go for colors. So this is what we tell you guys. This is our first kiss of the night. Do your research.
Do your research. And your vote does count. So definitely go out to vote.
Yeah.
And a non-vote is a vote, that you should never do.
Exactly.
Right.
Just vote. And and with that, we have a lot of politics like voting going on here. So all my Baltimore City residents, do your homework. Period. Because that's a major race coming up for the mayor.
And the state of Maryland. State of Maryland too. There's different. I think a few Senate seats open.
Exactly.
So do your research. So here we go. It's the last hot topic for tonight. The new Good Times show is under some hot water.
It better be. It needs to be. Just let it boil and simmer on out.
Look, they keeping their head above water. They about to be permanently laid off. Not temporary, but permanently.
In the child line.
Right. Hanging in the child line. So there are some mixed reviews of Netflix Good Times animated reboot. So the show is still based in Chicago, and features the grandson of Florida and James, with his wife and his 3 children. But one of the things that is very that's kind of really got people
disturbing.
Disturbing
and degrading
and emphasized is that the youngest child is a baby, but not only that, but the baby is a drug dealer.
Right. Like literally they're changing his pamper and then he's going out hustling.
Right.
Like what
just
we doing
why?
here?
Why?
Like for me, and I know my kids, they always say, "Oh, why are we looking at Good Times?" But it had a message. It really was empowering to our community. Like even though they were struggling, every episode had a positive message, and you just had to look out for it. And so to really degrade what I guess Good Times means for the Black community. I mean, I'm just
right. And a lot of fans are having, those same reservations and, in an uproar, because if you look at historically, Esther Rolle advocated for having a 2-parent household. So Good Times was the first show with a mother and a father and a Black family on television in America.
Exactly.
And so, also saying that just because they did live in the ghetto and it was all those gangs and drug dealing going on, they still had a positive message.
And a strong family unit.
Right. And they didn't let the circumstance that they were in dictate what was going on in their household, and they kind of pulled themselves up from that.
And it also showed when the temptations came along, it's not that they weren't tempted, but because they had that strong family unit, they usually did the right thing, or were able to, be resilient and not give into it.
And where's the hope? I mean, basically, if you're making this a legacy type of, and the baby is a drug dealer, what are you saying about our hope of doing something better and elevating ourselves?
Exactly. And then what's so disturbing to me, who's one of the I guess producers, or you're gonna be shocked.
So they're slamming the show because some of the producers. So one producer is Seth MacFarlane. He's the creator of Family Guy. He also created
that sounds wrong, right?
Created the spin-off show called the Cleveland Show, which kind of was about a black man and his family, and they said it was a lot of shucking and jiving to that too. But also, which blew a lot of people away, is NBA player Steph Curry.
Now that's where I flatlined it. I'm gonna be serious because they're so wholesome.
And the original producer, the late Norman Lear, he was the executive producer, and he helped produce it before he passed. And it's just like, okay, like just it's very wow. And so original cast member Bernadette Stannis, who played Thelma, has vocalized her disapproval for the show. She was interviewed by TMZ, and basically so the show, Jimmy Walker, who played JJ, he suggested to Norman Lear and to his production company, let's reboot this as a cartoon. And they said, okay, yeah, it was adopted. And it was supposed to have the original cast be a part of it. And as they had moved forward. But it didn't happen like that. So Thelma, as many people call her, but Bernadette Stannis, basically
Thelma.
Papa. She basically didn't agree with it. She said it's showing the black community in a terrible light. And she says, if you're trying to pick up 2 generations later, she said the show ended on a high note.
Exactly.
And she said, why didn't you pick up from there? They shouldn't still be in the ghetto and struggling. He said, JJ was about to become a famous artist. Thelma and Keith were expecting a baby. He got back into the NFL, and they were moving out. And Willona was moving with them. So it's Michael was doing, Michael was always that headstrong, if you want to call it today, woke character. And she's just like, all of that has been degraded with this entire show, and it's not showing the black community in a positive light.
They need to cancel that.
So
I'm
period.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. So
what can we say? But let's get this party started.
Alrighty, so tonight we have Dr. Lindiwe Greenwood, and she is a board-certified family medicine physician. She is the CEO and chief innovator of Total Renaissance Wellness LLC, a health and wellness consulting firm where she uses her more than 20 years of clinical expertise, as well as the insights she's gained outside the exam room to inspire, educate, and transform. TRW, which is short for the Total Renaissance Wellness, aims to work with corporations, firms, nonprofits, schools, and individuals. Their goal is to teach self-care and resilient skills to help these groups communicate better, live their best lives, and thrive. And there is just a little bit about Dr. Lindiwe, but how are you?
How
Welcome to
are
the move
you?
again.
Good. I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
just so happy to be
We
here.
are excited to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, are you comfortable in the booth?
I am
You
comfortable
know, we
in the
saw you
booth.
kissing.
I feel
giving us
kissed.
a
I
Right.
feel kissed.
Right.
And look, we
Yeah.
see all these kisses
I
right
see.
Oh, yeah,
here
in the
from the
I love it.
comments.
I love it.
Yeah. So wait a minute, Lo. Before we jump into our conversation, real quick, were there any interesting comments?
Yes,
That we
that's
did
what I
today?
want to know too.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, we see some. They know something we don't know about RFK Jr.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Woo-woo.
Bernadette Stannis has spoken out about this. She is highly upset. Oh,
Uh-oh.
okay.
They know what we don't know. Okay.
We see they are bringing the stereotype mentality back, which will further marginalize. That is true. That is
Yes.
true. Okay.
Mhm.
They was talking in
All
the
right.
chat.
Yes. And so, as we get into our conversation, so everyone, this is my sister and Jack and Jill. I gotta give a big shout out to Jack and
right.
Jill Columbia. Yes, I'm 10 years strong, and I
I'm
think
20 years strong
Woo!
in this chapter. Yeah,
oh my
Oh,
goodness,
wow.
20 years because your legacy, right?
I am.
Okay, so yeah, so she's legacy, but I definitely could not miss the opportunity to shout out our other sister moms, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us about, I know you, but tell the world about Lindiwe. Like, how did you grow up? Where are you from? And, how did you get started?
Yes. Well, first, I always kind of start off with my name because it's
Okay.
unique. Lindiwe is a South African name. I'm not South African, but my name is, and it means the one they waited for. And I'm an only child, and I grew up. My father was a detail person. He worked for Eli Lilly, and then he ended up retiring from 3M. And so we moved a lot until 1981. We settled in good old Columbia, Maryland.
Oh.
And that's where I've been. That's where, I grew up on the mean streets of Columbia. And when we talk a little bit more, I'll talk more about my career. But I cut my teeth, I would say, in medicine in good old Baltimore. I was at Mercy Medical Center and went to University of Maryland Medical School. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm around the way girl. I'm a home girl from around here. But I am someone who is passionate about wellness.
Okay.
I wanted to be a doctor since I was 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
I can pinpoint it to that. I was very interested in science. At the time, I wanted to take care of kids. And so I was like, what's a good way to put that together? And it was becoming a doctor. And just had great teachers and people who inspired me along the way. And, it just stuck with me. And one of the big things that was a turning point is when I was in high school, we had something called the mentor program. And it was basically where they matched people up with, like the high school students, up with whatever profession you wanted to go into. And then you would go there a couple times a week. And I was matched up with a company called Martech. And Martech went on to be a very big company. Some people from Martin Marietta branched off and they did this Martech. And all that to say, I won the state science fair.
Oh,
And so
okay.
I won the
Smart
state
girl.
science fair, and that took me to the international science fair. And then it was, I took off from there.
Wow.
But I've always been a little bit of a science geek, like biology. I'm a people person, really want, my motto in general is to leave people better than how I found them. So
All right.
that's just something that kind of kicked off, and the rest is, as they say, history.
And so what motivated your study in like food and medicine?
So I am a traditionally trained family medicine physician, but I have always had an interest in integrative or complementary medicine. And so that now it's much more mainstream. But at the time, I was looking for tools that I could use with my patients outside of a prescription pad. I just felt like as a society, we have become very, very laden on medicine. And that's not to say anything is wrong with medicine. Sometimes you need it. I need it. You need it, right?
Right.
But I do feel like there is not enough attention put on our own inner resilience and our ability to know ourselves and to be able to use some of our God-given skills to be able to help ourselves. Again, that's not saying don't seek treatment when you need it, but and so part of that was my journey to become certified. Even though I'm board certified in family medicine, I'm also certified in mind body medicine from the Center for Mind Body Medicine, and that's in Washington D.C. I was
and real quick, and not to cut you off, but for those who aren't knowledgeable about that, kiss them with this information. What does all this mean to be certified by this organization? Other than
great question, great question. So, as a physician, you know, people will say I'm board certified, basically meaning I have gone to medical school, I have gone to residency, and that's anywhere from 3 to 9 years, depending on what your specialty is. And then you have to take a series of very, very rigorous tests to basically get certified, just like you would be certified in anything, to say, okay, I know my stuff. I'm going to go out here. I'm going to do good for people, not bad for people. And so just like a nursing license, or if you're, you get a CDI license, commercial driving license, something like that, there's certifications in other different types of specialties. And so mind body medicine is an additional certification that I have. And I basically went through trainings at the Center for Mind Body Medicine. And the Center for Mind Body Medicine is run by Dr. James Gordon. He is a board certified psychiatrist, Harvard trained psychiatrist. And so for me, it was really important to, when you get into the integrative world, and when I say integrative, I'm saying things like meditation, biofeedback, massage therapy, things that are kind of aligned with medicine, but not necessarily like that straight clinical medicine. I thought it was really important to get certified from an institution that had a good foundation, and people wouldn't say, oh, that's, you know, nonsense, or that's not real medicine. Do you know what I'm saying? And so part of that package is food is medicine, to go back to your question. Basically food is the medicine, quite frankly. That's all. I can do a whole and have a whole lecture on that. And so that's how I got interested in that. I'm a foodie. I like to cook. I come from cooks. But I was noticing in medical school, we got so little education on what we put in our bodies.
Exactly.
You know, and it's just so important. It's so important. And I think about the you know, the elders and things that they taught us that they were doing, and they weren't certified, right? But they were on point. They didn't know that why they were on point, but they were on point. So that's how I got interested in food.
And I think a lot of that, like you were saying earlier, I think a lot of that is popularized now. Like we'll see like on social media, like Facebook, for instance, you'll see different groups. Oh, my grandmother always told me, if you do that, and mix that together, that will help you in X, Y, and Z. And people are starting to realize now, and this is, I know this could probably take us down a rabbit hole, but people like today know about Dr. Sebi. And all of what he was teaching and promoting with basically like it's also works in what you're eating and putting in your body. And so
it matters. Look at Tabitha. I call her Aunt Tab.
Tabitha Brown.
Tabitha Brown. I mean, it is so it's really foundational to who we are as humans.
Right.
Well, that's good. And so what I want to know is, well, let me ask this. So I have so many questions. Like I'm trying to stay on target.
No
but
worries.
first, so your company was established in what year?
2017.
Okay. And so when did you decide to, you know, transition into this, you know, I guess holistic approach?
Yes,
correct.
That's exactly what it is. So I had a previous company, Renaissance Primary Care. That was a practice that I had after I left Mercy Medical Center. I had decided that I wanted a different spin. I wanted to do medicine differently. And so I took a little hiatus while I was building out my practice. And I worked at the Howard County Health Department I was their substance abuse specialist. I had been asked to revamp that program, and I was waiting for my practice to be built. And then I had the practice. Even though I was doing what I would call traditional medicine, I had a water wall. We played spa music. I often would treat patients with integrative skills in addition to whatever I was prescribing them. So that was always there. Well, unfortunately, that practice was open just before the bubble burst. So that depression back in 2000, in what was that, 8. Yep. I opened in 2007. That happened. You know, everybody said, oh, it'll never change. It'll keep getting bigger and bigger. Well, people were literally coming into my practice trying to figure out, should I pay my water bill or should I pay this copay? And I'm gonna tell you, often I didn't win out.
Right.
You know, people had to take care of things. And so the practice was very successful in that I grew it from 0 patients to 1,500 patients.
Wow.
But I ended up having to close it because people don't think of it this way. But you get this, as a business owner, like that was my business.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't look at it that way. It was just Dr. Greenwood's office, but it was my business. And as an entrepreneur, you put a lot of your own money, sweat and tears into it. And so we closed it. And so literally when that closed, I was really depressed. It was literally like I had lost a part of myself. It was a mourning period because it was my baby. I had conceived it. I had picked every stitch of textile, the furniture, all of that. But in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, God's not through with me. Like there's something, you know, else I need to be doing. And I remember going to my mom and I was like, Mom, I think I want to do another business, but this is crazy. Like, look at what I all just went through. And she just, without a beat, she was like, of course you do. It's in your blood. And I was like, what do you mean? And there's something in the practice of mind-body medicine that we use. It's called a genogram. And it's a fancy word for really like a family tree.
Okay.
And, you know, it's kind of that old adage, like to know where you're going, you got to know where you came from. And when I did my genogram, there were all these entrepreneurs in my family. And I didn't, until I saw it written out. I mean, my grandfather owned dry cleaners in Brooklyn, New York, back when Black men did not do that. My grandmother had her own hairdresser. I mean, it was just a business. There was just a music lessons, all kinds of things. And so once she kind of gave me that, and there's a kiss right there, like, don't ignore that fire or that little, your little calling or that little voice that says, go further.
Right.
And that's when I was like, you know what? No one can take what I have up here away from me.
Exactly.
And it was a friend, actually, a good friend. It's our Jack and Jill's sister, Delegate Vanessa Atterbury's dad, who said to me, you can't buy the experience that you have in a store.
Wow.
And that's when I said, okay, I'm and I was driving into work, and I kid you not, I looked up, I saw the Renaissance Hotel right down there in Baltimore. And I was like, that's who I am. I'm a Renaissance woman. And that's how Total Renaissance Wellness was born. And I said, I'm going to take what I know in the exam room and take it out, and I'm going to help people thrive.
All right. So, you know, they say 90% of people suffer from some sort of, I guess, mental illness or depression, or, you know, especially with, first of all, the introduction of social media. Even though, guys, we love that you're on here, you know, but so many things have happened since the social media era. And, you know, with, you know, depression and just these heavy weights on trying to compete and, you know, showing up as your authentic self, and I think people really don't know who they are anymore, which leans into, you know, some of the depressive states. What do you think that, how do you think they should deal with that, you know, with social media and, you know, and all those things?
I mean, that's a hot topic right there.
Right.
I know.
That's big. That's big. You know, Oprah used to talk about it all the time. We're not connected. Like we're connected. We're always on, but we're not connecting. And I think that the mental health crisis in this country is like it's the hot topic.
Right.
It is what we should all be talking about. And when we're on the social media and, you know, everybody's presenting their most fabulous, wonderful life and self, it's hard to keep up with that. It's you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not in Tahiti. I'm not in, you know, going to all the award shows. I'm not
at the Maldives.
I'm not in the Maldives. I'm trying to get there.
I'm trying to get there.
I'm not eating out at the 5-star restaurants every night. I'm not in these fancy cars, and whole time is they are leaning up on somebody's car in the parking lot.
Absolutely.
But hold on. What about this? I don't have a 6-pack.
Right.
Because that's a big issue with the baby. The thighs don't match.
That's
you know, the BBLs. And
right.
That's right.
Well, but it really will weigh in on you.
It does. It does weigh in on you. And I think, you know, we have to get to a place. I mean, I think about Brene Brown. She has made an entire career about making vulnerability and shame like okay. It's okay to say, hey, I'm not perfect. Right. Hey, I get sad sometimes. Hey, you know, and I think in our community, we've got to normalize these conversations.
I agree.
It was a couple months back. I had the fortunate opportunity to watch. It was a TD Jakes special. I don't know if you all caught that, but it was about mental health in the church. And I was like, it's about time because people are really struggling out here. People are, you know, feeling isolated. They're feeling alone. The pandemic is done now, but those feelings are still there.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's just so important for people. And this is part of what I teach with I use a trauma-informed self-care model to teach self-care skills. And one of the base, most foundational piece of that is breathing and meditation. It's very difficult to be intentional and do the things that you need to do in this life without having some sort of foundation of self-awareness.
Right.
And it goes back to that connectedness. You got to be clued in. You've got to be self-aware. It's like we're all just like zooming around like bees. And, you know, I feel like it actually has gotten worse since the pandemic. It's like we took that time to unplug. And it was, you know, of course, it's terrible that people, you know, died. I had personal people who died and all of that. But that permission to just be unplugged and to just connect and to be intentional and to know where we were was like a gift. And I'm worried that we've forgotten it all over. Yeah.
Because I think we became like a twofold type of situation and scenario. Because like, okay, like with the pandemic, some people are still situated and stuck right where they were in the pandemic.
They're scared to connect, reconnect.
Right. And us having to pivot to a more technology-based type of communication, people they've made their whole lives now off of the technology, and again, like
and just
now
staying inside,
here we go. We don't know how to connect with people or just
it's unfortunate. And so, and I even saw the kids, you know, how they were navigating, you know, of course everyone's on Roblox, and then they're not connected to the people in school. So now when it was time for them to go back to school, it was, oh my gosh, who is my friends? Because now you have this online community. And so it was so interesting to see. So literally, I have stair step, you know that, stair step kids. And how about my 6th grader and my 8th grader were at the same school? But how about this was the first time in history that everyone in the school was brand new. Because we were out for so long. So to have a full of kids who had never attended middle school, that was bonkers, you know, and then, you know, trying to reintegrate them with everyone, their peers, it was definitely a challenge. And so I remember that
developmental social development. How that so everybody was a 5th grader going.
Right. Because
right.
You're absolutely right.
Right. Exactly. And so as I talk about, just reintegrating, what leads me to this being second, chance month. We say that American, you just talked about the crisis, the mental health crisis here in America. But guess what? They say that returning citizens, their mental health crisis is what, 10 times worse, higher
than the general
population.
I can imagine.
And so I want to start, I want to talk about that. So, how do you give advice to people when they are returning into society? Do you have any special treatments, or what do you suggest to them when they come to you and say, hey, look, I'm overwhelmed? Just like we were talking earlier today, and I couldn't imagine, we come into contact with individuals that may have been incarcerated for 10, 20, 30 years. I mean, hey, we're talking about the pandemic, 2 to 3 years, but 10, 20, 30 years, I mean, literally you're re-entering society, and it's like your whole life is a setback. You're not tech savvy. You don't know all the it's the tech stuff, I think. Yeah.
That's
and so trying to
intimidating.
it's so intimidating, and try to reintegrate into society with those setbacks, while also having the pressures of, say if you have to pay restitution, or all these crazy fees that the state want to charge you, is a lot of pressure. And so I just want to know, do you deal with anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, being in the community, I deal with everybody in the community.
Okay.
That is, I'm in the community. They used to say back in the day. Yeah, for sure. And I think first of all, we have to start. It starts with conversations like this. We've got to start normalizing discussions about people's mental health, and about what are, I don't want to call them I guess we'll call just challenges that people have integrating back into society, because I often feel like our society is like, how do I want to say this? We want people to come back and be productive members of society, but then we also punish you because you might have had some setbacks.
Right. Oh,
and we've got to, number one, we've got to distinguish, what is this it's not where you started, it's where you end.
Exactly.
What are the gifts that this person might have to give to society? I have returning citizens in my family. We all do. Okay. And we don't want to just throw the person away because of some things that might have happened. So I think even it's just such a big conversation, because you got to also look at why are people returning? I mean, why did they go away to begin with?
Exactly.
And you cannot just have a broad paintbrush that everybody's the same.
Right. Exactly.
That's the first thing. The circumstances are the same. And then it goes back to what we were talking about with the whole good times things. People have to have hope. So when I do my work, I work with one-on-one people, I work with students, I work with corporations, I work in a lot of different ways with people, and I want to establish hope with people.
Okay. And so with that, definitely returning citizens, at-risk individuals, that's our target different demographics here at Power 52. And we are married, to the mission of providing, opportunities, workforce development, mentorship, and all those things. But how can we better support our trainees, when they're returning? I mean, we do the best that we can, but like I always say, it's through our partnerships that we thrive as an organization. And so just always, you kissing us is kissing our trainees. And so, like, what are things that we may be able to do, here internally, that could be beneficial to them? Just so real quick, we opened up every morning with a power principle. So when we were in person, I used to always say, like, all the time, but when we were in person, I used to say, hey, whatever happened at home, that's at home. So when you walk in here, now you're a Power 52 trainee. And so then we start that day, just leave that stuff behind you. And then we're here to embrace you with love and, and realness and just in train, just being who we are and being, just good to you. So none of that even matters. But what are some things that we could do here to incorporate into our say power principles, or like we say power principle workshops or mentorship, so that may be beneficial.
Yeah. So I'm going to try not to become wordy with my response, because many things that you said are so many things are going off in my mind. So first of all, going back to that trauma-informed self-care model that I talked about, which is the root of the work that I do. It is a model that we literally use all over the world. We use it with vets. We use it. We have an entire program at the Indiana prison system. So we use it in Haiti. We use it in Gaza. We use it when the wildfires happen. We used it with people who were victims of Katrina. So when I hear you say that, right away, I'm like, you got to have someone like me come in and do some mind-body skills groups with them. A mind-body skills group is really the prototype way that we use. And when I say we, there's a whole village of mind-body skills certified practitioners. We've even done trainings in Baltimore. So there's hopefully maybe someone's listening right now. It's really important to create a space and to normalize giving people a chance to express how they feel. So like you talked about your principal, if I were working with someone, the first thing we would do is we would do a meditation to center ourselves. And then we would do what's called a check-in. And in that check-in, that's when people, tell you what's on their mind. And what's different about our model is, though, usually when you're doing a usual therapy group or you're going to someone for advice, they're telling you what to do. With this, it's you speaking your truth and then you going around the circle and you gaining and learning from what other people have had to say and you coming to the conclusion of what you need to do. There's no diagnosing, there's no advising, there's no cross-talking. And so, that's something you and I need to get offline and talk about, bringing that in. Maybe you have a Wellness Wednesday for your trainees where they can sit down and talk about some of the challenges that they're having and they can hear, because it's amazing. We always say, like, the group is anywhere from 6 to 10 people. You come in 6 strangers, you come out family. For sure, because you don't know, you might not know that this guy you've been working or this lady you've been working next to all this time, you're going through the same stuff. Exactly. And you're listening and you're talking and you're normalizing and no one is judging you. Exactly. No one is advising you. Right. So, those are 2 things. Just beginning your day with that intention, with those meditations, creating that space that normalizes wellness and intention. And then from there, I introduce a new skill. So that week, I might come in and say, okay, we're going to do imagery. And I might teach them about imagery. And these are the thing I want everybody to know that's listening to me is that these aren't just things that make you feel good. Okay. These are rooted in science. We have scientific studies that have shown that these things help people and that being in a group, that alone just helps people to feel connected. And it helps people to be able to recognize themselves and other people.
And and so I think, and you probably can talk to this is why I like that you said being in a group. And so we do cohort style. Okay. And so it's 16 weeks of strangers, like they literally come in strangers, and then they come out best friends. Right. Love interest or
but even as you were mentioning, having those things, like we do have the power principles every morning, and it might be like kind of guided, which would be like never let your past dictate your future. I always walk with your authority. But then starting last cohort, I started to do some called barbershop talks, where it's a little bit less formal, where we can talk about some of those life issues in a safe space where all of them can say, well, I dealt with this chick and she,
Sure.
and some of those things that they needed to hear. Like, we don't realize some of those relationship issues affected other areas of our life. So I noticed, right, and I noticed, like, and the reason why I had it, I noticed a trainee was having relationship issues. He poured out his heart to me, and I said, "Is you in a cohort full of other men?" At that point, it was all men, and I said, "You have a brotherhood right here, and don't even realize it."
Absolutely.
So let's kind of dive into some of those conversations, and he finished the program and did everything, got back on track. So those conversations matter.
Yeah, and I think that one thing for sure that us having the cohort style mixed with these power principles, people have told us we would have left. We can get training anywhere, but it's the power principles that kept us here.
Right.
So we knew it was the mentorship and the family atmosphere and just the culture here.
Yes.
I've had a parent trainee just write me like a 2-page letter saying, hey, this is what I was going through, but I feel safe here.
Right.
And so, needless to say, I have about 300 children.
Right.
Whether they're older than me or not. But nevertheless, that's how it is because we love them all. And so
we call it creating the container.
Yes.
We call it creating the container because when you create a space that's safe, then people open up and people, they're not looking at all the things that are different. They're looking at what brings us together.
Exactly. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, we got about to wrap up, but we want to talk one last question.
Okay.
It's kind of controversial.
Yeah.
What are your takes on marijuana use and mental health?
Yes.
Is it helpful? And shout out to the 420 this weekend to those that might be partaking in that.
Yes.
We'll be cleaning up the community that day. But anyways, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, this is my personal thoughts on it. So I think it's a both and. Marijuana has its uses. I mean, there are certainly medicinal, there are medical uses for marijuana, and I've seen it change people's lives, honestly.
Wow.
And I'm saying that from a medical standpoint.
Wow.
Whether it be someone's anxiety or someone has chronic pain or, there's just a lot of different uses for it. Now, having said that, do I think it's for everybody? No, I do not.
Okay. Now, but when you're saying that, like, do you think that it's, you see all these dispensaries, especially out here in Howard County.
Yes.
Is it best to do that, or is it just like, listen, I need a joint?
Yes.
What does that look like?
Well, being that I am a medical provider, I think that these are decisions that should be made in conjunction with your medical provider.
Okay.
If it's really being used for, the reasons that, a lot of people are using it for, then there are doctors that are specially trained to administer and get you certified and get you a card if that's something that you need.
Okay.
So I think you do have to be careful about where you get any substance that you're getting, and that includes prescription drugs. You can on the internet, you can get anything.
Oh yeah, because I think what's that one, the shot that leaves weight?
Yeah, I mean, you can get Ozempic, you can get antidepressants, you can get all kinds of things like that, but you got to be careful because you don't know what is in, and this goes back to, what you put into your body matters, whether that's food, whether that's drugs, whether that's what you're feeding your mind with the people that you hang around with. That's a whole nother topic. So that's what my take on
the marijuana.
On the marijuana.
If you miss anything, you better make sure you know what you're doing. You can always abuse something that might be good. You can always abuse it.
Too much water can be a bad thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yes.
Right.
So that's so good. So you heard it from the doctor. It's
Right.
okay. It's okay. But really, we need to, I guess like get away from it
It's
being
okay
so
under
taboo.
guidance.
Under
It's
guidance,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not really so taboo now to do. Like literally, they have workforce development training for marijuana, and yeah, like this is a thing when we go to our workforce meetings, and they're having conferences about this, and how do you place in the field. So it's an up and coming field. It's way newer than solar. So if you want to stay legal and not be on the fence, come see us. Right. And with that being said, what are we getting into?
But first, for anybody that might be dealing with any issues, if you're facing overwhelming emotions, struggling with mental health challenges, or simply need someone to talk to, please seek help through these services you see here on the screen, who have trained professionals who can help you navigate your journey towards healing and resilience. So definitely take advantage of those resources.
Or give Dr. Lindiwe a call. How can they reach you? Because I'm interested in this holistic. Listen, how can they reach you? What's next for you? Plug yourself.
Okay.
Right to the camera.
Well, the name of my company is Total Renaissance Wellness. We have a website. It's inspirehealthwellness.com. You can, I used to have a website, so it ties to this. It's Dr. Greenwood spelled out, DOCTOR Greenwood. .com. That's a way to reach me as well. I will give my disclaimer though. I am no longer practicing like straight medicine. So I don't know why I say straight medicine, but I am more in consultative, and I do the mind body medicine. But we have a free consultation, so just you can reach out via the website. And we'll see what we can do for you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Listen, we need to get her.
One more thing I do need to say. Okay. Because I feel like these skills are so important, and I want to get it to as many people as possible. My next thing that I'm doing is a destination wellness retreat. So we're going to be learning our skills in someplace sunny and tropical. Okay. So looking to go to the Cayman Islands. So again, tune into the website and you can find out more about that as well.
All right. And when is that happening?
Is either going to be November of 2025 or February of 2025.
Okay.
We're inking our deal right now.
All right.
I might have to jump on.
Yeah. Because nonprofits, they nonprofit employees have some of the greatest stresses.
Oh, sure.
Just people who are doing impact work. Mm-hmm. And so, hey guys, we need to sign up.
Right. Right. Okay, time for these hot seat questions.
All
right. So would you rather this is a movie, action-packed thriller or heartwarming romance?
Heartwarming romance.
All right, backpacking through Europe or road tripping across America?
Backpacking. Road tripping across America.
Okay. Scuba diving or skydiving?
Ooh, scuba.
Okay. Roller coaster or water slides?
Oh, I like both of those. Yeah, okay. I guess I'll say water slide at this age.
Okay. Wearing socks with sandals or a tuxedo to a beach party?
Oh, gosh. I guess the tuxedo. Oh, my goodness.
Accidentally sending a text to your crush or boss that was meant for your best friend? So would you rather accidentally send a text to your crush or to your boss that was supposed to go to your best friend? So which one would you either rather go to?
Oh my goodness. I think I would have to say the crush.
Okay, okay. Keep your boss out your business.
That's right. And you never know. You gotta take your opportunities.
Because you could have been talking about the boss.
That's right.
Right. Okay. Having a personal theme song that plays every time you enter a room or sound effects for every action you do?
Oh, the theme song. For sure. I'm a musical person. So.
Okay. Getting stuck in the elevator with a mime or a ventriloquist?
Oh, no. Maybe a mime because it'd be quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because I don't know if that ball might be.
I know.
That's
creepy.
Because I might think the person is out of his way.
That's right.
Okay. Speaking in rhymes for an hour or singing or singing instead of speaking for the day.
Oh, singing for sure.
Okay.
Yes, I do this anyway.
Finish the lyrics. It was all a dream. I used to read
Word Up magazine.
Okay. Being would you rather being chased by a flock of angry chickens or a herd of sneezing goats?
Angry chicken.
Okay. I was scared I wasn't gonna be able to finish that one. Using emojis excessively or communicating solely in memes for a day.
Ooh, memes for a day.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Only being able to communicate through interpretive dance or beatboxing for a week.
Beatboxing.
Okay.
I would do the beatboxing. I was a beatboxer on my line when I pledged.
Okay. Okay. What sorority was that?
Delta Sigma.
Okay. Okay. Your only mode for transportation is a unicycle or a pogo stick.
Oh, wow. Pogo stick.
That's what
I might kill myself on that unicycle.
That's what I said. Give me the pogo stick.
That's a skill.
Okay, last one. Finish the lyrics. Don't push me because I'm close to the edge.
I'm trying not to lose my head.
Okay, all right. Thank you. We enjoyed you so much. Thank you for coming into the booth.
Before we get out of here, we got to talk about ways to support Power 52 and all of the wonderful things that we're doing and how we're impacting the community. No, pass the offering, please. This is ways to support right here. Shop our swag. We have our empowerment tees on the website. Cash App, PayPal, Givelify, Zelle. Definitely support the mission by donating to one of these forms of payment. But shop the swag, guys. Also, we have one of our biggest fundraisers of the year coming up. Yay! May 21st. It is live on the green. If you have not gotten your ticket, you know what? Hold on. We have one foursome left. So we had to open up one. We had one foursome left. It just opened up. If you were trying to get your foursome and we were sold out, now's your chance. Is one left. Also, we do have a few tickets left to the networking event, the social after the golf. So check it out. It is definitely going to be Ray's going to be there and some other, names I'm not going to mention. But hey,
Don't want to miss it.
Yeah, scan that QR code right there on the screen. What else? Oh, the big sweep.
Yes, this
420 is not about the marijuana. It is about Earth Day, and we will be cleaning up our community in Sandtown.
Yes.
On Saturday.
Yes, this Saturday. So you can go to our social media and you'll be able to see our flyer there. We still are in need of some volunteers. We want you to register just so we can know who to expect. So register. If you have any high schoolers who need community service hours, this is a great opportunity for them to get those hours as well. So please be sure to go to our website and or go to our social media rather,
Yes.
and all the information is there.
Yeah, and please, guys, for those of you who have tuned in on YouTube, please subscribe.
Yes.
Follow us on all social media channels. We're everywhere: TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Hey, we out in these streets. Listen, I'm telling you. But hey, thanks for joining us tonight. Next week.
Next time.
2 weeks.
We have R&B group Rough Ends.
Yes.
They will be here. Baltimore-based R&B group Rough Ends will be here. We might be talking about Someone to Love You. That's what they're singing.
And
so we might got to get them to sing us a song while they're here.
Exactly. But hey, guys, until then, oh my goodness, y'all tongue twisted. Until then, remember, life is short. So remember to forgive quickly, love truly, and kiss the community with your gifts. Thank you. See you then.